All right, we've all had them. Case of the Mondays, but for some, it could last all week thanks to that one bad apple in the office. In today's Virginia at Work, we are focusing on attitudes and how a bad one can turn ugly for many in the workplace. And sometimes that one bad apple may not even know they're doing it. Maybe they're venting, complaining, or not respecting the workspace of their colleagues. How can this actually be prevented? Well, Dr. DeHaven joins us this morning, a senior executive for Cortex Leadership Consulting. Welcome.
Thank you.
How are you this morning?
Oh, it's great to be here.
All right. Well, I'd like to say, hey, no bad apples in our studio this morning. But you know what? I mean, we are focusing on how a bad attitude and starting off our week on a Monday, how it can ruin the rest of the week. What are we exactly looking at here?
You know, it really depends upon the culture of the organization and the context, as well as the person. Sometimes being rude is saying good morning before that cup of coffee.
Really? No kidding? No way.
Other times it's interrupting or barging into a room. I've worked in organizations where if you did not interrupt, you didn't get heard. So it really depends upon the culture of the organization and the situation.
How do we know what is rude and what is not then?
That's a great question.
Right?
Oftentimes if we ask the question, what is rude, it means that we're probably being rude. There is a better way to have said it or have done it.
I wasn't being rude with the question.
Not at all.
All right.
But really, the best way to know if you're being rude is to see how others respond to you. Also, perhaps have a coach or a confidant, someone that you can play things back against and ask questions, and see how people respond to others within the workplace. Culture is everything.
All right, so I guess when you hear something that you don't like at work, how do you approach that person? Do you even approach that person? How do you handle them with a bad attitude or if you think they're being rude?
Right. So rudeness is contagious. If you hear someone being rude or someone is rude to you, you're likely to be rude back to them. It's human nature.
Right.
And so if you think that someone is being rude to you, first ask yourself the question, was I rude? They may be responding to you. The second is to take a step back, don't take it personally, and to put it in the greater scheme of things. Does it really matter what they said? How big a grievance was it?
Right.
After you've taken a look at yourself, then you can start to think about them. Maybe they're having a bad morning. Maybe it's an off day. Maybe they are frustrated and having some of their own issues. Start to ask yourself the question, why?
Right. Yeah, and I guess this is the number one thing, because I think everybody's gone through it, right?
Right.
Your boss is rude to you, or you think he or she is being rude to you.
Right.
How do you deal with the man or woman who hires you and you don't like something they say, or you feel that it's ruining your day?
Right, right. Well, there's a power dynamic to consider, right?
Right.
They are the person who signs your check. So it really is important to understand their motivation. Empathize with them. See what might be driving them to be rude to you, and then ask if they need help. Whenever you confront someone who's being rude, it's better not to do it in public and not to do it emotionally. Use a lot of I statements. I feel like you were perhaps rude in our last interaction. Is there something that I can do or something that we can do to work together?
Quite possibly the nicest person I've ever had on this show. Dr. DeHaven, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
All right.